Hey, what you doing, buddy? Hey, what you doing? What you doing? What is going on, you outdoor mavericks? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be all about my new barbecue deck and cover. And I recently shared one of the community posts about finishing up the barbecue deck and cover in the backyard. And a lot of you guys had some questions. We're super excited about it. And thank you guys for all the positive vibes on that. And some of you guys asked, like, how did you build it? And what did you build it with? We want more details. So in this video, I'm going to walk through everything that we did from the decking portion all the way to the cover with the wood and the galvanized metal to keep the Traeger covered. And then we're gonna go through all like how I built the base, what we used for it, and a really cool addition for you guys that I think could be really good for outdoor barbecues. So let's get started. So when it comes to the barbecue deck, we got a couple elements here. So we got the flooring and the base and the decking itself. And then we got the cover and the legs and the upper part, which keeps everything dry underneath. Now, the reason why we chose this space in the backyard is because this was just a in-between oasis of stuff that was in here. Some just random plants and just some various plants and pots and things that were in here. And back here was where the raised bed was, and we moved that to the other side of the backyard because we just found like this space wasn't being utilized for what it could be worth. So let's start with the talk about the decking. Now, the biggest part and challenge of building the deck was actually to put the stones in and to actually stain the boards. Those were the two biggest time sucks in this project. And I think for the stones, it probably took us a day and a half, and it took me a lot of digging mud and dirt and then putting gravel in, and then honestly getting the stones nice and level, because with the deck and the cover, you want everything to be sturdy, but you also want it to be flat, to have everything just nice and perfect. And so getting the stones in place took the longest time at the start point of the project, which was good because it was during the rainy season in January when we didn't necessarily need to get all the boards in. We wanted everything to dry out a little bit, and that allowed us to get the stones in first. So then the next big portion of the project was to actually get the joist in, and the joist tape that we use on the boards was perfect because it's going to allow the boards to sit on top of each other and not rot and get super wet, because in Oregon we have a ton of rain here, and the last thing I want to do is have to replace deck boards after a couple years. So it was perfect to put that tape on and then get all the joists situated and then get through all of the decking, which outside of the staining, the decking took probably, I think, 4 hours to get all the boards in. And the reason why it took us so long is because we wanted to get everything lined up, get all the boards in place. But we also wanted to do big board, too littles, big boards, too littles. But also we had to go through every single board after we stained them to get the prettiest ones at the front and then work our way backwards. And the thing that we did to also save time is we just screwed everything in. They weren't cut to perfect. We had them like, 10 feet, 9.5, 8.5 feet, and a couple 12 footers, and basically just came along the edge and just chalked and then just saw it all the way down before we put the outside fascia boards in. And honestly, that was probably the easiest way for us to build the deck in that manner. It saved some time, but it also made it look prettier. So for the deck itself, it's 8x8 red cedar, which all of the boards, or the majority of the boards from the deck, are actually recycled from the Rebuilding Center on Mississippi Avenue in Portland. And the Rebuilding Center is just kind of our local hangout spot that has a lot of refurbished and recycled materials you can get. They have a ton of lumber. They just have a ton of stuff. Like when they tear down houses, and all the materials that they can salvage, they bring to the Rebuilding Center, and you can buy them at a discounted rate. It'd be stuff that you would just throw out otherwise. And so most of the decking that we got, and then all the boards that we got underneath the roof here, is all Cedar Siding, which we got at the Rebuilding Center, I think 2 or 3 years ago. And this stuff is like perfect. And the reason why we went with the Cedar Siding up here, because we wanted to have that feng shui kind of swaggy looking Texas style barbecue look, something like that looked like a barbecue pit area that I really wanted to have, because like I'm not a serious competition barbecue guy, but I love my Traeger and I love to barbecue, and I wanted something that looked really nice. And so this Cedar Siding is just rough, it's not even sanded, was like perfect. It was lightweight, made the underside look good. We got a little cedar fascia board here on the front, and then we've got our big rack barbecue sign, which is I think the best thing because everyone likes a big rack, if you know what I mean. And then on top we just have galvanized roofing, which is just perfect to keep the under cedar boards dry. Makes it nice. It makes it look like that very Texas style barbecue joint or like pit area. And so like all that material was recycled as well. So like over half of the stuff that's in this barbecue deck and cover has been recycled, including the frame. Like the frame used to be a cloth top, and we just took the cloth off and replaced it with this new top. So like I'm 60 to 70% of the stuff on here is recycled. So for some other cool elements of the barbecue, so we got the big sign in the front, the big rack barbecue. Yep, I love big racks, baby. We got the Traeger here. We got the Traeger cover here with the Real Tree camo cover. This is the Pro 34 model. I actually got this at my local Fisherman's a couple years ago. Shout out to Fisherman's because they were going through some old inventory and the sales guy was like, hey, we need to get rid of this thing. It had a scratch on the lid that's about right here underneath the cover. And he's like, hey, I'll knock 50 bucks off of it if you take it right now as is. And the cool thing about it is the damn thing was installed at the store. I just had to put it in the back of the truck and we just had to get out of there. So I got a Traeger for like 150 or something off. It was like the Pro 34 series at the time, which had the larger grate to cook on and was like perfect. And fitting underneath the barbecue rack here, it's like perfect dimensions to fit underneath on the deck. And it like folds into the color of the decking, which is actually called reindeer, which I thought was really, really cool. Now, the other cool element of the deck, I think, is this solar panel that actually powers the lights in here, which are actually Costco lights. So this whole lighting solar panel package actually came from Costco. So the thing I love about the lighting underneath is it's all driven with the solar panel, and then there's a switch that we actually put just inside the sliding door in the house where you can turn the lights on. So if you're barbecuing overnight, if you're out here in the evening doing some smoking or just whenever, you can just turn the light on and you've got instant light underneath here. You can come out, check whatever you're smoking and barbecuing on, which is awesome. And I think we got this from Costco and it was only like 40 bucks. And the lights have like 42 feet worth of lights and they're super bright and it just goes off the solar panel. And for 40 bucks, I'm like, I don't know why I didn't have this before. It's like the perfect element for the barbecue cover, which like we were stressing a lot about how to get the lighting with the switch way over here. We don't want it to have like hanging cords everywhere. And so it was like, I was wrapping my head around this and just one day we went to Costco and was like, boom, it's right there. That's the perfect lighting setup that we need. All right, guys, so that is the wrap for the barbecue deck and cover tour. I hope you guys enjoyed it. You know, it was quite a labor of love and I just love the fact that we used a ton of recycled materials on the project. It allows me to give back to the community. We use materials that we otherwise would have just recycled or thrown out, and that to me is really cool. And the fact that the deck came out better than I thought in the design and the conceptual part of it when my wife and I were talking about this was just perfect. And so now I've got my own barbecue deck. We've got more space to go plant stuff on the other side of the house. We've got all this space on the decking now to have bigger barbecue parties out back. And so I cannot wait to have friends and family over to show it off. And now you guys have seen the deck and hopefully gets you guys inspired to get out there, maybe make your own barbecue pit deck area. There's plenty of cool customizable ways to do that. There's tons more YouTube videos on just crazy kooky stuff. And if you guys have something that you think I should add in here or an element of something that I don't have in here, like a little railing system, you know, a place for some cold brews or whatever, you know, drop a comment below. Like, let me know like what else I should add to the barbecue deck to make this like a little feng shui barbecue man cave Texas Oregon style. So thank you guys for watching today's video. Stay tuned for the next adventure I'm out on somewhere out in the outdoors. And don't forget, guys, and as always, the outdoors is a gift. Share it with others.